Okay, welcome collectors. Welcome to everyone who's joined us today, and a special welcome to anyone who may be watching us for the first time. And I'd like to give a special shout out to all our friends in Canada who are celebrating Canada Day today.
That's right.
Did you know that? In 2021, we are celebrating the original Snow Village 45th anniversary, and we'll be sponsoring a trivia contest each month to test your knowledge of our oldest and, for many of our collectors, our favorite village. The winner in June was Billy Edwards from Kansas. He answered the following question correctly, in case you're keeping track of this. Name the piece and the year for the very first Snow Village piece with a water feature. Rick, what was the answer?
I believe the answer, having cheated after you told me, was the ice pond.
It was the skating rink and ice pond in 1970.
Oh, when it came out?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1978.
1978, okay. There were a number of correct answers, and we put all the correct answers in a hat, and Billy's answer was drawn, so congratulations, Billy. He received a really nice prize package from us. So, okay, here's this month's trivia contest.
All right.
You ready for this one, Rick?
So wait to answer it?
Don't answer it, because they're going to answer it. Okay, here's the question. How many churches in the original Snow Village use the name Stone Church in the title?
Oops.
Name each piece and the year each was introduced. So it's kind of a tech.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll repeat the question again at the end in case we have some people who join us late. Remember, you must answer in the comments section of Facebook using the trivia answer, and then put your answer in. And all correct answers, of course, will be gathered together and tossed in a hat to select the winner. You have until 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, July 2nd, to respond. This gives collectors who aren't able to watch live a chance to participate as well.
It gives you a chance to tally it up before the holiday.
That's correct.
There you
So
go.
now I would like to introduce an old friend of ours, one of our favorite guests, and my boss, Rick Jackson, who is the creative director here at Department 56. Welcome, Rick.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you
Hello.
for joining us. So we've got some questions that we have gathered from Facebook
Yep.
and from emails that came in. And just to be perfectly honest, I did give Rick these questions this afternoon so that he had a chance to look up his notes.
Well, it wasn't a test, though, right?
No, it wasn't a
Yeah,
test.
so that's okay.
Okay. All right. Here's our first question. We are villaging differently than we used to. Now we are putting together displays and vignettes year-round. Could we have some generic accessories that we could use in these year-round displays? For example, a more modern bride and groom. You know, right now I guess the only ones we've had are Charles and Catherine Dickens, and we also had, I think, what was supposed to be William and Kate, but they're looking for some more modern ones. Or people in non-winter garb. And I remember this question came from one of our Canadian collectors. So Martha, thank you.
I think that's a good idea. Generally, that's a category we used to have, and we used to spend a lot more time putting items in there in the Heritage Village.
Okay.
And a lot of times we've had like policemen, firemen, newspaper, things like that we'd put in Heritage Village. And the idea was it was supposed to kind of spread through the different villages. And a lot of times we've used that for just kind of a filler, or maybe somewhere where somebody might want to add a little story to their village. I think that's not a bad idea. We could put some, a bride and a groom, something like that, and just put it in Heritage Village. And
Less winter clothing too?
yeah, I think that's something we could take
Yeah.
a look at. And it might be fun. I like the idea of people putting vignettes together, and
Yeah.
maybe they put a vignette together for a wedding, and it might be nice to have somebody in a skirt that's not like the old, what is it?
Hoop skirt?
Hoop skirts?
Yeah.
And
Now
that's
you-
a dated look.
Yes.
I realize that.
Yes. Now you mentioned Heritage Village. Could you maybe expand on the difference between what that is and our other villages? We get that question quite a bit as well.
Yeah, it's a little, well, as our collectors know, we've had, I think 5 porcelain villages and 1 ceramic village. And so with Heritage Village, sometimes we'd put figurines that maybe could stretch across a Dickens village, an Alpine New England, and maybe even slip it into Christmas in the
Mhm.
cities. And so that would be kind of a general category. And then sometimes we've put in, because
So the scale is a little different than the ones we use in Snow Village.
right, and so this would be more heritage, meaning, I guess, more of a porcelain accessory. And so you would, again, you could cross those four villages with a little flexibility in the design of it. And then I think this past year we did a policeman or something where we did kind of a glaze to it to get that color for Snow Village. But anyways, I think there's an opportunity here to put something in there, and we can certainly look at that.
Yeah,
but I like the idea of the vignettes
Yeah.
and people setting aside for
The
events.
suffragettes that we did were really for Christmas in the city,
Yep.
but they certainly would work because there was suffragette activity going on in Dickens Village at the same time. So,
Exactly.
So
And-
that would be a kind of a crossover kind of heritage
Yeah, and I
accessory.
think you had women's vote issues in Victorian London, the
Mhm.
Christmas in the city, and yeah.
Yeah, so that would work out really well. Yeah, in fact, I think they had it more in England before it came over to the United States, from what I
Yeah.
remember from the PBS special I saw.
Or Mary Poppins.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, she was a suffragette too, wasn't she? Okay.
Good boss.
Okay, here's a question that came to us from several different people. With Queen Elizabeth II being on the throne of England longer than any other British monarch, and next year is a special anniversary of her coronation, which I believe is 60 years, can we expect a tribute to her in Dickens Village?
Yeah, we were talking about this one because obviously everybody knows that Dickens and Victoria was Victorian architecture. Everything is around Queen Victoria, who was a reigning monarch through pretty much all of Dickens' life. We did look that up before. I think we had found King George, King William, and then Queen Victoria finally. And so the idea was, do you bring a tribute to Queen Elizabeth II into Dickens? I don't know. You know, I guess a lot of her clothing, you could say, wouldn't it be that big of a stretch to kind of push it back into Victorian?
Are you saying she dresses like a Victorian?
I'm not saying frumpy, but
I didn't say frumpy.
But you know, back in the beginning of her reign,
Yeah.
you know, it was much more formal. I mean,
Yes.
who knows? Or we could put a couple corgis in the line.
Corgis would, yeah, they've kind of been in the royal family for years and years, haven't
Yeah,
they?
I'll be surprised to see what you get the feedback, because you know, would we be stepping on toes of historical accuracy by putting Queen Elizabeth II into Victorian London?
Yeah.
You know.
Putting somebody from the 19th century in with someone from the 21st century,
Yeah,
which is,
the whole time machine thing.
Yeah.
Blow up the world.
Okay. Another question. We'd love to include some more of our licensed pieces in our Halloween village.
Right.
What about adding Hocus Pocus? That's one of the more popular requests that we get. And the Haunted Mansion from Disney World. And when we introduced the really great Haunted Mansion
Yeah.
from Disneyland, everybody's like, well, we want the Haunted Mansion from Disney World. So what can you tell us about future licensing projects and things like this?
Well, we were pleasantly surprised with the Disneyland Haunted Mansion. That one,
Was that their request?
we were looking at doing something with Disney, and we were looking at doing something, as a lot of collectors know, we've done the Mickey Mouse Haunted Village. We just introduced, I think, just Pumpkin Town, which is behind Melinda. And so somebody said, well, have you ever thought of doing the Haunted Mansion? And so we looked at it and we thought, yeah, we could certainly give it a shot, but it's a complicated piece and it's an expensive piece. But we went through with it, and so as many of you know, it had a good price on it, and It was a good success. It's sold out. It's sold in really strong. The truth is always in the sell-through, but we're very encouraged that it's sold out. And so that's given us, we're thinking, maybe we do Disney World. I thought that they were all the same until I looked into it, and then I realized Disneyland Mansion's been around forever. Disney World, whole different architecture, whole different thing. So I think that if this one continues to do well through the selling season, I think it would be kind of nice to take a look at doing Disney World. It haven't even occurred to me until now to, I don't know, Disney Hong Kong, do they have a haunted mansion?
I don't know.
Disney?
I do know that Disney World is going to celebrate its 50th anniversary this fall. So
Yeah.
that's an opportunity as well.
Not only that, I think Disney is 100 years old, the whole Disney.
The whole Disney franchise?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think
yeah.
we're looking at that. I think that's that 2023, I think.
I think
the
you're right,
100th
yeah.
anniversary of Disney.
So is that how old Mickey Mouse is?
He doesn't look it, but.
Well, he is gray.
I know. But we're also looking at, the Hocus Pocus has come up a lot, and I was surprised at how many people around our office, like in their 30s, were big fans of this movie. And that kind of surprised me, because I didn't realize how popular it was. So
Yeah,
I think
I've
that's
never
something.
seen it.
Yeah, I think that's something that we'll certainly look into, because we've had really good luck with building our base with the licensing product. If you look at Harry Potter,
Right.
Nightmare Before Christmas, Game of Thrones is another example where it's really had. I think it's sold out, so we're anxious to see how it does.
In a very short period of time, from what Amy told
Exactly.
us, yeah.
But obviously, we want to see how it does once it hits
Yeah,
the market.
yeah. And the detail on those new licensed pieces, like the Ghostbuster pieces as well.
But yeah, that's a fun
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, it's nice to have something special like that for Christmas in the city.
Yeah, so I hope people see, we're certainly taking a look at licensing and certainly trying to fit it in where it's appropriate and have some fun with it.
Yeah, so when people ask, we've got an idea, we'd like to see this as far as license, when you write to Lidtown or you write on our Facebook page, this is who I take it to, and I'm constantly bugging you, aren't I?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we got some nice ideas through that process.
Yeah, right. So keep those ideas coming, and you can certainly list them on this Facebook posting, and I'll jot them all down and get them to Rick, and he can have the creative team and the licensing take a look at them. Do they still go to those licensing fairs?
They have a number of them. We have our Bearbrink group is kind of in the licensing mecca, and so we have contact with them, as well as I think there's a yearly show up there where it's all the licensors have a chance to present their marquee products to the people like us. That's how we ended up with Elvira. Turns out she was a village collector, so she was actually.
Elvira was?
Yeah,
I
or
didn't know
is.
that. Yeah, wow.
And so she was excited that we stopped at her table, and when she found out who we were, she goes, "Well, I'm a collector," and so that kind of made the process kind of nice.
And then there are licenses out there that are not interested in this at all.
Yeah, not everybody says yes, and not everybody says no, but we try to. And plus, we have a lot of experience and a lot of history with brands like Disney, Warner Brothers, and things like that. So they
Once you get in with them, it makes it a little
they
easier.
can depend on us putting out good product, and we can count on them working well with them.
Yeah, I always remember the story, and I'm sure you were the one that told me about the Chrysler Building and how long.
Oh yeah.
How long it took us to get that.
Years.
And
that
they
one
had-
was a tough one because one group owns the land, one group owns the building, and one group owns the marketing. And so we had to try to figure out who to talk to. And also we had to figure out how we were going to go about it, because the top of the Chrysler Building, That's a unique part. It's its signature. And we certainly didn't want to cold paint it, but we had to come up with a way to fire it and get it to look nice.
Well, we got it right, didn't we?
Yeah. And plus the height, nobody else can do these tall buildings because if you don't do them right, they fall over in the kiln.
Yeah. You did that in like 2 big pieces or something like that?
Yeah, the very top part.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, keep those ideas coming into us. If there's another building that you happen to see that you'd like to see us add, we're nothing without our collectors, and if they don't like what we are introducing, they're not going to buy it. So keep those ideas coming into us. We have any questions or suggestions that you think we need to talk about, Becky?
Well, one person was mentioning just people sitting for benches.
People sitting.
Like
that's
more options for benches.
Yeah, and we're looking into that. I think we've got some stuff coming. So
It's really hard. It's really hard because everything that's coming out for next year already. It's pretty much done, isn't it?
Yeah, we are beginning the design process for Christmas '23.
Wow.
Yeah.
It usually is that far in advance?
Yes. Yeah. We're trying to get the sooner we can get the product into development, the better we can work with the timing issues.
Cool. Okay. We love that you added the 9/11 memorial and the accessory Heartfelt Valor to the line. Why was the size of the towers made so small?
Well, in that piece, we were approached the whole company wants to do memorials to the 20th anniversary of 9/11. So each design division was asked to present a product. And when we were looking at it, the thing we thought of the most was, I don't know if you remember when they set up the lights for the 2 towers as a tribute, all the spotlights. They were able to run them up in 2 columns as a pretty touching memorial, and that's the one we wanted to go after for us. We didn't, I think the buildings were built in the early 70s, the World Trade Towers, and so there wasn't really, it never occurred, and we never thought of this would be great for Christmas in the cities, or this would be great for this, or this would be great. It wasn't going to fit any of our villages.
Right.
But what we wanted to do was just do a sincere honor of the event, and so the way to create that, you can't just set a bunch of LED lights in a base and they shine up, they'll just kind of go away. You won't be able to see the light. But by creating the towers, it keeps the light inside and you get the effect of the lit towers. And so what we looked at was something that somebody might want to put on their desk or just put it up as a memorial. And also, when you look to get that effect, you need clear acrylic, clear plastic. And so the only way you can get that is through a tool. So you have a big metal tool that creates those towers. Well, if you go to a tower that's this big, the pricing of the tooling just takes it out of contention. And then to get the effect of a large piece of acrylic to light up the way that we do, it would take a lot more involvement and then a lot more cost. So we wanted to keep it where we can control the effect, get a nice effect, and get it out there at a reasonable price.
And then there's the charity that the company, it's going to be a company-wide effort to donate.
Yeah, I believe that there's a program where, and again, this goes across all the brands under the UNESCO.
Yeah, there's some
banner.
Jim Shore, there's Tale of Painted Ponies,
Yeah, I think
Possible
Snow Babies
Dreams
is in there, Possible Dreams, all of them. And then I think we did the resin figurine set of the firemen. It's kind of that iconic look to it where they're taking a...
Oh, and then we did the Charming Tales one too from...
Yeah, that was something that Paul did for Tales with Heart. I think.
Tales with Heart.
Yeah. So anyways, what we wanted to do was get it done right and get it done at a cost that we thought was doable.
And then we will make for those of you who aren't familiar with it, we are making a donation to the the Children's Survivors Fund for the 9/11 memorial. It might be children whose parents were lost. It might be firefighters who were lost. Their families are included, and it's just a real nice tribute, and nice to be part of something like that and give back to something that we don't want to forget, but we don't want to ever go through again. So, okay, Rick, last question for you. An easy one, though, I think. And I think the collectors always want to know. I mean, they do this. They ask me this. They ask all the artists when we go out. What's your favorite Village series, or what's your favorite piece in a series, and tell us why.
Well, you would think that that would be an easy answer. For Village, it would be Dickens' Village, more of a sentimental reason. Long before I started with Department 56, my mom stumbled over the Department 56 at our local department store at the time, which was Dayton's.
Mm-hmm.
This is back in '84, and she bought each kid in the family a different village. So my wife and I, we had Dickens Village. My brother was New England Village. One sister was Alpine Village, and the youngest sister was Christmas in the Cities. So as a village, I've always liked that. I think the candle shop was my first piece. So I got that for Christmas, and then every Christmas she would give another piece, and then it kind of ran its course for a while, and she was very excited when I got my job at Department 56, and therefore had a Department 56 discount, and we had our Department 56 Superstore in the Mall of America, and
The rest is history.
Yeah,
huh?
we would go there with my mom and my sisters and add to our village. But for a singular piece, that one wasn't as easy because there's a lot of different pieces. But I decided to go with one that's connected to one of my favorite artists, which is Edward Hopper. And his famous painting, which I think is one of the most recognizable American paintings in the world, is Nighthawks. And it's I think everybody's familiar with it, but it's the building with the scene of the restaurant. And I just love the way it turned out. I love that it was, that it was with Edward Hopper. That's a piece that Tom drew, so I worked with Tom in terms of how we were going to get the interior done. But if you look at the painting, none of the paintings show what's going on beyond the top of the building. And so do we do it as a single-story building? If you read it up, when Edward Hopper was, it's a combination of a lot of different architecture and a lot of different buildings, but he still decided to just paint it the first story. So there isn't a building in New York that this was the painting. A lot of people thought it was that tobacco shop in front of the iron, what's the?
Flatiron?
Yeah, the Flatiron building has that front tobacco shop. So a lot of people just assumed that it wasn't. So what we had to do is challenge Tom to figure out what would the top of the building look like. So we decided it was a taller building with a restaurant diner on the bottom. So I thought that it just turned out really nice. The interior, the lit effect using the LEDs. I thought it just really turned out nice, and
It was immediate recognition, though. You know,
Yeah, it was
really
a beautiful piece, and I'd have to say that one's right up there
Yeah.
on the top.
That's the same reason that I think the American Gothic in New
Yeah.
England Village is my favorite, because
Yeah.
it's
it
a
just-
recognizable piece,
Yeah.
but from a recognizable painting.
Yeah.
Well, this was fun. I
Yeah,
really
it was.
enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will see you again in, in a month. Over the summer now, we're just gonna
All
do
right,
it once a
then.
month. So our next Facebook Live will be the first Thursday of August, which I believe is August 5th, and I remembered that because it's my daughter's birthday.
Yeah.
And today's my grandson's birthday, so we had, two birthdays in 2 different months that I could remember dates on. And we will see you next time, but in the meantime, question again, thank you, Becky, I appreciate that. So we wanna go back
Oh,
and.
the contest question?
The contest question, do you think you have the answer for this? You can tell me later. Okay, here's the trivia contest one more time. How many churches in the original Snow Village used the name Stone Church in the title? Name each piece and the year that each was introduced. So, a little more information is needed. I'll have a prize package that I'm sure you'll all enjoy. Sometimes it's a sample and some accessory pieces. Sometimes there's some landscape pieces. I will go back in my closet of many pieces and see what we can come up with. And next week, we'll announce a winner and get that package out in the mail to you. In the meantime, have a very safe and happy 4th of July weekend. Happy Canada Day again to our friends up north, and happy 4th of July to everyone in the United States. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.